What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of TMP, which stands for the Menace Podcast. I'm very, very honored to announce a very special guest here today in studio. And of course, the guest is no other than Dennis, the Big Bad Wolf. Dennis, thank you for coming. The funny thing is, and I'm going to tell this to the audience, the funny thing is that we know each other for, I don't even know how many years, way back in Germany, way before you turned pro. And we never, ever had an English conversation. We always speak German because you obviously are German. I was born and raised in Germany. So this is the first time we're going to have a conversation in English. So thank you for doing this for me. And we appreciate you driving all the way here from Las Vegas. So
Dennis,
thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting me. And I'm really pleased to be here. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and speaking to you in English, that's gonna be fun, I guess.
Yeah, it's already fun. Yes. I already like it. Look, first of all, I'm very impressed with the way you look. You look very healthy. You look like you're having a good time. How you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. Well, I train as I like to. You know, I don't have any schedule, so I have to follow. So I just feel like, I have to train today, and tomorrow I can take a break. And then the next day can go to the gym again. So, or I train the whole week and then I take a week off. So it's like how it goes. Sometimes I just take more time to do some hiking, and staying away from the gym. So it's kind of being like this for 2 years right now.
Yeah, because I see you post a lot on Instagram. You do a lot of other stuff other than the gym. So I remember you used to be lazy, or you came across as somebody lazy. You be in your house. You barely get out the house other than going to the gym. Your wife would do all the shoppings and the cookings, and you just basically eat, sleep, and train. So right now you're more like an outdoor guy, right?
Exactly. So it is total opposite of my personality. Compared to 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. So since the injury and the surgery, I just kind of involved in other things. I love to be outside, outdoors, doing some, if I can, some extreme stuff. Like, you remember the story? You were live there and you saved my life in Kuwait when I had the jet ski accident.
Tell the story. It's a very interesting story. People don't know. No one knows this story. Tell the story about when we were in Kuwait. I'm gonna just start it off and then let you finish. We were in Kuwait. It was you, Melvin Anthony, and myself. And we were, it was during the day, somehow we wanted to go to the beach and drive them jet skis.
We just had a lunch at the restaurant, and next to the restaurants were the jet skis,
Right, right.
And I was already like pushing everyone, hey, jet skis, jet skis.
Yeah.
I
so
want to do that.
We hired 3 jet skis, and they asked us if we need life vests, and we said, nah.
Yeah.
No.
And that was the biggest mistake. I mean,
tell the story. Tell the story.
Right.
It's funny.
So you think you can swim, right? So, but it's not the case if you're heavy and on a diet. So you're kind of full. We just had a lunch. And then we went out and rented these jet skis. So no life vest, nothing. We
crazy.
Went straight out to the open ocean. And I was like one of the first guys who just stand up and,
went crazy,
pulled the throttle until the end and just went out. And then until I looked back and I couldn't see no one. So I got almost lost. So I got scared and I was driving around a little bit, and then I just stopped because it was so hot. And it was summertime, so like, I don't know, 125 degrees outside.
Yes.
And the water, because of this heat, also was very, very salty. So, I mean, ocean water is a lot of salt in, but this one extremely.
Terrible, yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of got a lot of water in my eyes, so I just stopped and cleared my eyes a little bit. And what happens then? My jet ski flipped over. So I had no idea the jet ski was broken, so it filled up with water, and it got heavier and heavier, and then flipped to one side. So, and without life vest and everything, I was right in the water.
And we were out there like a mile away.
I couldn't see the beach.
Yes.
I couldn't see the beach, just maybe like that. So, and then the first person who came up to me was Melvin Anthony. And he's like, try to to flip it, you know. And I'm
He basically tried to tell you to try to help yourself.
Yes, yeah. So, and I'm stupid as I was at that time. I was already in a shock a little bit, like kind of going this direction. So kind of worried, anxious, afraid. And I, idiot, tried to flip the jet ski.
Used
it
even
didn't
more
work
energy.
out.
Used
I
even
lost,
more.
yes, I lost a lot of energy doing this tryout and start sinking. So I just tried to hold me
That's-
at the jet ski,
yeah.
and that's when you came. And that's a good thing. You, how you call it? You just start talking to me, calm me down, and you remember I was already like.
I remember you were already swallowing water.
I was throwing up.
I saw in your face you were 10 seconds away from giving
before,
up.
yes.
Because you were exhausted. You were swallowing water. You panicked. I remember I panicked inside myself because what am I going to do now? I said, if I jump out, I can't help you. We're in the
No, we
open
go
ocean.
down, but
so I
together.
remember exactly because there was your flipped over jet ski. There was my jet ski. I gave you my hand. I said, hold my hand.
No,
And
you
I-
stretch out your leg first.
or whatever. I give you
Yes,
something
yeah,
to
yeah,
hold
yeah,
on
yeah.
to, and I put you in between the jet skis so you have something where you can, at least you won't drown.
Correct.
And then I held you there and kept you calm until they realized from up the beach there's some problem, and they came out.
Right, and there were a guy.
And I remember
who
Melvin was all the way far away, and he basically said, "I'm
He
scared.
didn't even
I'm
came
scared."
close. He didn't
Yeah,
even came
he was
close.
scared. He
And then
didn't
there was
wanna-
one guy. He came to bring me back to the beach, and he was like, I don't know. I guess not even 100 pounds. You know, it's like really small guy. You know what happened? As soon as I get on the jet ski behind him, I grabbed him like this, and I thought I'm gonna kill him. You know,
grabbed him like a bitch.
yeah. So like, bam, and he was like driving to the beach. You know, I was like scared. Every move, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna fall into water.
That was literally a real close call.
Yes, very, very much.
And I remember you said you had a long time where you couldn't even go put your head under the shower.
No way. I think for the next 3 or 4 years, I couldn't even take a shower without having these panic attacks. So, but now, you know what? I bought 4 years ago jet ski, so I'm kind of over it. Many people will say, "You stupid idiot," because
But you went to Life West.
Yeah. But it's still dangerous stuff. But I kind of came over it. I strengthened myself. Even the mind is better now. I can do whatever I want right now. So, and this is what I say. I'm kind of more in this extreme. I like this more and more. But I did bodybuilding for so many years. This is another extreme. But you're not compared to some sports where you can injure yourself because of a mistake or something, So, and this is jet skis.
So you did go through a lot of injuries and stuff, or some injuries, and we'll talk about this in a little bit. But I want you to take me through. You were born in Russia. A lot of people don't know. They know you speak Russian, but everybody knows you are German. So you were born in Russia, right? How long did you live in Russia before you guys left for Germany?
Okay, I was born in former Soviet Union.
Okay.
So there was not just Russia, but many
Soviet Union, yeah.
many countries which were united, right? So
all Ukraine and
exactly.
all the different
which
countries
is now are separated. They were all together, so that's why it was a huge country. And I was born in Kyrgyzstan, so it was Soviet.
Was it Kyrgyzstan?
Kyrgyzstan. It was a Soviet republic, but now since they split it, it's Kyrgyzstan.
Okay, it's not. We can't confuse this with Kazakhstan.
It's close. So my dad was born in Kazakhstan, and I was born in Kyrgyzstan. It's close, but a smaller country, and both countries are bordering China.
Okay.
So that's
so
far
it's Asia.
away.
So it's
Yes,
Asian
It's
continent.
Central Asia. Yes.
Got you. Okay, so you born there. How long did you live there before you left?
We lived there for 10 years. Well, I was 10 before we moved to Russia, because there was really hard times to get an invitation from Germany to move to Germany. So
you went for visa.
It's not a visa. It's as a German, you have the right to apply for the how you call it? Not just citizenship. It's they look for your where you can stay. So they look for your home. So they're building a home for you. Kind of not building the house, but they kind of figure out where they can put you. Like not what
like refugee camps or stuff.
Something like this. Yeah, it wasn't even a team back there, but. All this.
So now, were you born with a German passport or Soviet Union passport? What passport did you have?
I had no passport at all because I was too young. So I always was kind of put in the passport of my dad. So as a male, if you have kids and they are not 18, you put your kids in your passport.
So you don't have, as a Russian, you don't have a passport until you get 18?
No.
So you got to be an adult to get your own passport?
Yes. That's correct.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. I guess a lot of people didn't know. So now you're 10 years old. You moved from Kyrgyzstan to Russia.
Russia, Siberia.
Siberia. This is where it's always cold.
Yes, actually, we always had vacation like every summer.
Is that why you're so cheesy white? Siberia?
No, it's because my mom, she's. Redhead, so she's everything. A red hair is the first part of blonde. So
Siberia, and this is where they have them harsh winters, right?
Yes, minus 40 degrees Celsius.
Minus 40 degrees Celsius. That means
I don't know how much in Fahrenheit.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Yes, it's really cold. So we moved there because it was easier for us to get this approval. So my grandma and all my cousins and uncles and aunts, they were there in one house. So big house, but like, I don't know, I have 5 uncles and 4 aunts. So
a huge family.
Huge family. And they were waiting for us so we all together can go to Germany. But you know what happened? A year later, they all get the pass, or how do you do it? So they were allowed to go to Germany. Yeah, from Russia, except us, our family. So my
uncles and aunts,
they all left.
Everybody got approved.
Yes, got approved, but we didn't. So my mom, my dad, my brother, and I. So we stayed in this house by ourselves for another year or so. So I didn't go to school. Because we were already in this, we're moving. But it took a long time until we got this approval.
So you waiting for the approval every day, and it basically stretched to another year.
Exactly. So they told us it's going to take maybe 3 months. So at that time, as my grandma left, it was summertime. So it's just no school, nothing. So we thought, okay, in 3 months, we're going to get the invitation, approval, and we leave. And it was the summer. So the next... so it was summer, then was fall season, winter, and in the spring, in April, we got the approval. So I was like doing anything, whatever I wanted. I didn't go to school. So 3/4 of the year.
So what do? You just play?
I just, we had some it was a kettle. Cow and stuff, and I had a lot of
so you were farm
chicken,
work.
Something like that.
You're a farmer.
So, and we did me and my brother. We did some crazy stuff every day. It's just
so
if you're a kid,
it was
fun. And then we came to Germany, and my life changed. I never seen anything like this because to compare Germany to Russia, it's impossible.
So was it better or worse?
A lot better. A lot better.
Oh. So even though you had fun playing as a kid, you saw that it was a big difference leaving Siberia and going to Germany.
Oh yes. As soon as we arrived, anything they gave me orange juice in a Tetra Pak. I couldn't open it because I had no idea what
you'd never seen it before.
Nothing, and I was 12.
So you guys were far behind. Is it?
That was the time in Russia when the Soviet Union broke. Fell to the pieces, and all the countries which were together with Russia were separated. So there was a lot of proud, countries. So they start
There's a lot of problems too.
Yeah, and the problems too. And then inflation. What is it? Money, inflation.
Inflation, yeah.
So the I don't know, $1 was 100,000 ruble, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But in Soviet Union times, $1 was 60 kopecks, so 60 cents. So it went like from top to real bottom.
It was just
really
money was
crazy.
nothing.
So people had no jobs, nothing. So it was a hard time. But then we came to Germany, and I just saw what you just saw in on TV, maybe, you know, just completely different lifestyle. People act different. The school system is different. Everything like this. Of course, the food and how the people talk to each other. All that was not the same. I mean, I don't say in Russia was bad, but it just different mentality. You know, if you change the mentality, or like if you go to, I don't know, Africa and then, you know, and then Northern European, of course, there's a big difference.
Right, right.
And it was the same to me.
So you were like 11 or 12 years old.
12, yeah.
12 years when you went to Germany. So that's when you went to Germany. Now you had to go to school. It's mandatory.
Yes.
So that's something you probably weren't used to.
Oh yeah. So I was out of school for like, I don't know, 3/4 of the year, you know, so the most of a part.
What school is only 3 months?
No, because I didn't go.
You just didn't go.
In Russia, I didn't go because we were waiting for the approval.
Oh, okay. So you were ready to jump anytime.
So, and then I came to this to the class, and you know, I couldn't understand shit, like no word.
So you spoke only Russian.
Only Russian, but thank God my grandma, she's full German, and before we moved to, or we were planning to move to Germany, she was teaching me a little bit, like all kids, all my cousins, you know.
But you still had to pick it up, you know,
Yeah,
which is a lot easier when you're young because you pick it up fast.
You know, if your grandma teaches you, you don't give a damn. You know, it's like yeah.
So you went to school and you started to learn German. You started. How long did it take you to pick it up?
I think 2 years, and I was like almost talking like right now. You know?
Yeah, because you speak. You don't have an accent. You have an accent, but it's the accent from the area where you're from in Germany. So you basically, your German is more proper than mine because my accent.
You're better than me.
My accent where I'm from. Nobody can understand us.
I know. But
this is the funny thing.
This is great. You know, I like that. Every part of Germany has their own accent.
Yeah, but the worst is that nobody understands us, and we understand everybody.
Yes. Yeah.
When somebody from my area, and you can confirm this, when someone from my area is on TV, they have to subtitle him.
Right.
So the people, so the Germans can understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
Mannheim, Heidelberg, Stuttgart, terrible. Terrible. When I hear myself talking German sometimes, because I remember the first time I talked to Gunter Slierkamp. What was it, Gunter Slierkamp? Or Roland? Somebody
Gunter's
German
from the same place in Germany.
Yeah,
I came from.
and they speak the highest proper German.
Yes.
They speak the way we write.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987 and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro Tan.
Exactly.
So when we speak, it doesn't sound nothing than, you know.
Can you imagine you have to write like this, like you speak? Oh my God.
So I remember.
Well, you know who does it? The Switzerland.
They write the way they speak.
How they speak. So this is crazy.
I remember I spoke to, every time, because I was living in Thailand for so long, I speak to people from Germany, and then Germans, and I say something, and they look at me like, huh? And it's hard for me to speak the proper German because I have to read something in order to get it done. But that's awesome. So now you're 12 years old, you go to school. When did you decide to bodybuild? I mean, were you bodybuilding early, or did you play soccer like everybody else in Germany?
I wasn't a big talent in soccer, so
you weren't?
No. I was in
club.
In the club. But you know, I felt like I have 2 left feet, you know, like so it wasn't.
You feel like your feet is left.
Yeah, so it didn't work out, you know, and then. But I was in basketball, in Kyrgyzstan already, so I was good. So I forgot to tell it. Before we left Kyrgyzstan, I was preparing for championships with the team. So the first ever, you know, and then we get to had to move, you know. So it's like, my dream is also gone. So, and in Germany, I was afraid because I couldn't understand so much. So I didn't go to the club, so to play basketball or something. So it took me some years until I start like doing some, like chin-ups and, you know, all this stuff, regular stuff. And I felt like it's something for me. I like the way I looked, you know, as I always had abs, you know, even with 15. So, and I was a huge martial arts fan, of course, the Van Damme movies and all this stuff. I was a big
Bruce
Lee, of course. I mean, he was the biggest ever, So, but in order to get involved in the sport, you have to understand at least what they're saying, right? So I was afraid, so I didn't go until I was already good enough, and then, you know, start working and all this stuff. And then my dad bought some equipment, you know, just put it on balcony, and I did that. And then a friend of mine said, let's go and do the membership in the gym. So like, I don't know, man. Okay, someday I decided, let's go. Okay, and then after 3 weeks, he left. I was there by myself, and I liked that very much. I was like, man, I don't want to stop that. How old were you? 19.
19. Okay, so that was 7 years later.
Yes, yeah. So, and then that's how it started. And I think a year later, or 1.5 years later, somebody came up to me and asked me if I'm preparing for any show. I was like, what? I didn't even understand what he wants from me.
It sounds like my. I had the same thing. And somebody asked me, "What show are you getting ready for?"
Yeah. So what?
I said, "I'm getting ready for the go-go bar tonight." Exactly. I was getting ready for the girls.
Yeah. So I said, like, hey, I don't even know what you want from me, you know. And then there was, his name is Mike Schultz. Was the first guy who involved me in this, you know. So he said, let me see, I will talk to you next week. So he got some numbers, he got some ideas where we can go. So we need to find a gym or a guy, trainer or a gym owner who is competing, or who or his athletes are competing, or his gym is in the federation. So that's what he found for me. So I went to another town. So that's where I lived in a long time. So it was like half an hour drive. We met this guy, and we talked. And first time I saw him, he was like, I don't know, 6'5", whatever, and I think 290, something like this. So big guy, bald, you know, like big guy. And I said, yeah, no problem, we can do that. So a week later, I came by myself to him, and he took a look, you know, how it looked like, and he was already impressed, you know. I just couldn't.
That was the very beginning.
Yeah, I just couldn't pose anything, you know, just maybe double biceps. That's it. I couldn't brought up, you know, my lats. It didn't work at all. So, and that's where it started. And I was 20 at the time, and you know, I prepared for the show. And I turned 21 a week before the show. So it was not newcomer anymore. So like junior, yeah.
Junior.
So, yeah. And I went to the man class, open class right away. I had like...
So you turned 21 a week before the show?
Yes.
So okay, because back then junior was only to 21.
Yes.
Now for I don't know how many years already, it's 23. Yeah. So you did the open man
right away, yes.
And won.
No, I didn't win. I was fourth.
Okay.
In a heavyweight. And
you were heavyweight first year?
First year, 93 or 94 kilos. I was waiting on stage. So, and the newcomer class, it's not junior but newcomer. So the people who novice. Yes. I'm sorry. So, yeah, novice. I was second. So, but I didn't qualify for the German nationals. So
same problem with me.
A year later,
I qualified, but I wasn't German. That's why I couldn't do it.
Okay. So a year later, I won the overall title, and everybody's like, "Who the hell are you?"
Okay,
it's like,
before you go any further, how long did it take for you? Because now you got there, you went there with 12, you went to school, and then how long did it take for you to get a German passport?
Right away.
You got a German right off the bat. Okay, so now
Because if you go from Russia to Germany, they set everything up for you. So it's already.
So everything was prepared.
We're not fleeing. We were not fleeing. We were not like applying for visa. We were applying as a Germans to come back home.
Oh,
so
returning.
Exactly.
Okay.
So most people don't have any idea. 250 years ago or 300. So that's how early they started. Peter the Great, he started first, but then his wife later. So they brought the Germans to the country, and most people don't know that. So they brought the engineers, teachers, all these or farmers. So and they gave them their own autonomic land. It's like Texas, which is by himself, and the rest is United States, right? So that's what they did to with the German people.
Okay.
So they had their own land, right, like our own country, but working for Russia. So that's what happened, and that's why the Germans or so many Germans are in Russia or Kazakhstan. But Kazakhstan is a different story. After the war, or when the war starts, Stalin put every German in the concentration camps, but it was in Siberia and Kazakhstan. So that's why we all Germans, either from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, or Siberia.
Got you. Let's go back.
All right.
93 kilos, you are doing the open men. Let's continue where we were, because we're going back to...
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so that was your first show. You placed fourth. Okay, how did you... What happened after that? So you caught the bug. You said, okay, this is what I want, and this is what I want to do.
That was crazy. I was so happy. I was like, I was afraid to go on stage. Honestly, I was like, what the hell? It's not me, But I didn't realize that the people were watching, because all the lights were so bright. I didn't see anything, and that kind of kept me a little bit, like cool, So I was totally cool, on stage. So after that, I decided to do another show a year later, but I came in 10 kilo heavier.
10 kilos heavier than the year before. So you came in 103.
Yes. So
was that good or bad?
That was crazy. So I won the
so you won that
overall title, and got the qualifying for German nationals. And since that day, I kind of,
everything went up.
Yeah, it went up. Sponsorships, people were talking about me, not seminars, but guest posings. I did as an amateur in Germany a lot of guest posings in the gyms, and I was like looking at the pros. Marcus was pro at the time and all that. They did less in Germany than I did. I was like almost every weekend on the road.
Because of your posing routines. Because when you pose, you create a picture when you pose, and that's why you always, had the best routines. Because to me it looked like you spend hours and hours on your routine, but I don't even know if that's what you do. I think that's just you just have it in you. You just know when, you know how to transition, and it just translated beautiful on stage, and that's why you always had. Always the best crowd reaction when it comes to your routines.
Thank you.
So now you won the German Nationals. How old were you when you won the German Nationals?
Oh, God. It was in 2005.
It's okay.
So I won because as I won the first...
2005?
2005. In year 2000, I was at the German Nationals, got fourth. And then I didn't compete for a while.
Okay, so 2005, you won the Germans.
Yes.
And then you must have went to the World Championships the same year.
Yes, but I need to tell another story. So in 2004, I placed second to a guy who was full with Synthol, and he won. And there was like everybody was complaining, but I don't know why the other guy won. So he went to the World Championships and got beat up. Really beat up. He was like second to last or something.
Yeah.
So, and I was pissed. Because everybody saw that I was like, and I was pissed. So a year later...
Why do you think that happened?
I think connections with
Sometimes it's so obvious, I
It's
don't understand. Sometimes when you make it so obvious that someone wins when he shouldn't really have
not
any
even be in
business
the top
being in-
five. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Unfortunately, that back then and in Germany, stuff like this sometimes.
That was very often. It happened
Yeah.
very.
It
very
still
often.
happens with the IFBB Elite
Yes,
Germany. It still
yes,
happens to this
yeah.
day. That's why I'm glad
yeah.
for the NPC Worldwide and the IFBB Pro League to finally,
Right.
give
Exactly.
athletes an opportunity to be judged fairly. So now, so you win the German Nationals 2005 because I know you were a pro 2006.
Yes.
So you win the Nationals and then you went straight on to the World Championships in China.
I was calling Erich Jana, and I wanted to apply for the pro card because I'm German champion. Overall champion.
So you thought you can do like Marcus Rule and just
Yes.
get it off a German
But they
championship?
just changed the rules. So before that, even I know two guys who were never German champions, and they got pro cards.
How did that happen?
I think they were in the top 5 or top 6 in the worlds. So I don't know. So and they told me no, we need you at the World Championships, and if you place in the top 5, we apply for you. It's like okay, top 5.
I can do that.
I'll make it.
I can do that.
I'll do that. And then I won overall title,
Yeah.
and that was like wow. And then you know that everyone started talking like, oh, we always knew that. We always knew that.
we always knew.
But before that, he'll never win anything.
Yeah.
You know how it is, right? So, yeah, that was the year in 2005. I won the German Nationals overall and the World Champion title overall.
So you turned pro. You got your pro card. You did your first pro show in 2006.
Yes, it was in Texas. Europa
Europa
Super
Show.
Show. Yeah, so I don't know. how
Europa
it's called.
Super Show, Dallas.
Super Show, yes, from Betty Paris, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what happened there? I remember.
I was pretty good, but I wasn't that dry, maybe,
Yeah.
and I was a new guy from Germany. I was 7th, so I ended up 7th.
So you ended up in 7th, and then did you do a show?
2 weeks later, I did the show in Canada, in Montreal Pro. I finished 5th at that show. And then 3 weeks after that, I went to Spain. It was a Spanish Grand Prix.
Right, with Marcus Rule.
Marcus
on
Rule and
Bautista.
Paco Bautista. So Paco Bautista was first, Marcus was second, and I was 3rd. So and that's where I got my first qualification for Olympia. And Olympia was a week later.
That was 2006.
6, yes.
So your 2006 Olympia was your first Olympia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, where did you place in the Olympia that year? I
Out
don't
of top
remember.
15.
Out of the top 15.
But
so everybody
I
goes through
looked
it.
so good, man. I looked so good.
Yeah, you just
I
didn't get
think
the-
even better than 2007.
Yeah.
But nobody gave a damn, about me at the time.
That it's hard. It's hard to get that look from the first Olympia, especially if you qualify from a show outside of the U.S. So
Right,
there's not that
yeah.
much.
It was different
They
that
don't
time.
cover the shows like they do now. So, but 2007, I remember 2007 exactly because 2007, I set out because due to health issues. I had walking pneumonia, and the doctor said, it's better if
Yeah, I
you don't go
remember that.
for it. Yeah. So I set out, and I know that 2007. But before that happened, we competed in the New York Pro.
Yes,
both of us
together. Yeah.
We did the New York Pro, and then you went on a week after the New York Pro, and you won your first pro show.
Right, that's correct. The
Keystone Pro. I remember that. And then you came back before the Olympia, and you had your absolute breakthrough year.
That was
With the 5th place at the Olympia that year. That changed your life when it comes to bodybuilding. Okay, take me through it. How did that feel?
Well, I still think until today that was the best I ever looked for myself, and also all this which comes together. It's not just your look, but it's everything. 10,000 people were cheering my name. Woo. Like I will never forget it. Things like this. And after that, what happened, like I was booked out. I was it's like what happens to Rami right now is what happened to me, but Rami won the Olympia. I was fifth, so it was for me a huge advantage to the other guys because you know I'm from abroad. I'm not American. And you know, I'm next to them.
Good looking, tall, and blonde, and I guess that worked in your favor too. But so what? You did have a sponsor at that time. I think it was BMS.
BMS and Nutrix.
Nutrix is the same company. It's just Nutrix is the U.S. version.
Yes,
and BMX was the German version.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but after you placed fifth at the Olympia, which I think you should have got fourth at least.
At least,
or maybe even better. But anyways, so now everything's changed. So what happened? What changed for you the worst? What the contracts start coming in?
Of course, I mean the big talks started. You know, like BSN came.
I remember when BSN came around for you. They wanted you like no one else.
Yes, yeah. They told me right away. We don't want Phil Heath. We want you. And Phil was like compared to me, he was the most favorite guy to win the Olympia.
Right.
But they told me they didn't like him. You know, his how he acts, how he is.
They didn't like the way he portrays himself.
Yes.
Okay,
So
maybe somebody.
I mean, some people kind of lay a lot of weight on it. You know, just want it. Some people don't care. You know,
sometimes people meet certain people at different in the wrong situations. And,
right.
I think Phil is not an arrogant person. I think
I
if you
Phil
don't
good.
know him, it can come across as it sometimes because if you're a star in whatever you do and everybody wants to take a picture with you and everybody wants to get close to you, you know, sometimes you just don't have to. You know, especially when you eat somewhere and somebody, you know, because if somebody comes to your table and says, "Can I take a picture with you?" and now you get up and take a picture with him, now everybody else gets up and wants the same picture. Now you're going to say,
and then if you say no, you're an asshole.
Exactly, and that's why I think sometimes you get portrayed like that. So,
no, I don't want to put a bad light on Phil because Phil is great. We are friends and. You know, I respected him back then.
But they wanted you. BSN wanted you.
Yes, yeah.
And I remember that, and that was never heard of in the sport. I mean, maybe Ronnie or Jay, but you know, I remember they gave you a car just as a signing bonus.
Yes, yeah.
A nice.
I had to pick one car for 100,000. You know, so I was like,
see,
what?
this is. People you don't hear this nowadays. You don't hear this no more. People get signing bonuses, you know. They wanted you so bad, they offered you $100,000 signing bonus.
Yes, yeah. So, but they wouldn't pay me, but they will give me a car.
Yeah,
so I had to pick a car. So of course, I mean, like, if it would happen right now, we'll probably pick a Mercedes, whatever. Then I pick a Aston Martin. Like what the hell is that? You know. But I saw it on TV. I was like, what the fuck? I will never had the opportunity to own this car. Yeah. So that's why I decided that.
So you went from zero to hero.
Yeah, something like this.
So tell me, what did it feel like? I mean, you with Katya, your wife. You sit there, and I know Katya. She believed in you for all these years because I had conversations with her way before. She said, "I can't wait for him to finally break through."
Oh, really?
She said to me, that? She said, I remember she said to me one time, "Man, I can't wait for him to finally start making money so I can stop working." I remember
because I promised her if we ever should go to the United States, you don't have to work.
Yeah.
You know, so because if I'm ready to go, then everything is good. So I'm making money. You know, you don't have to. And then at that time,
was he helping you out in the beginning?
Of course.
So she supported you.
Yes, it was a little bit different.
Okay.
So I was working like security on the door, like twice a week, and that's how I financed my career, right? The bodybuilder,
finance, all the supplements and stuff.
Exactly. So you always need money for that. So, and she was working, but she was working in the bank, great job, and then she came at that point where she could just work 3-4 days a week, and the rest was off. And that's how we managed all these travels, you know, with my guest appearances. She always took off, you know, and that was the best thing ever happened to me, you know.
You guys were an absolute team.
Yeah, so she was always with me when I was guest posing somewhere, and I remember I flew like every second week to United States just for a guest appearance, and I didn't care, you know, I just in and out, and then 2 weeks later, in and out, you know. today, probably most of the people would stay here for a month just to get these two guest appearances.
Yeah, and trying to get some more appearances that they can organize. So yeah, because I know you guys were an absolute team, and she was everywhere. So, I mean,
Still today, yeah.
She and Sabrina. I remember, and everybody who knows, and if I say this now, everybody who's listening will probably remember. If you ever been to any show that Dennis Wolf competed in, that you competed in, I promise you, you heard two girls screaming at the top of their lungs, screaming in German, and a lot of people probably think, "Who the fuck is this screaming
what is going on here?" Yeah.
You know, and even Rami to this day,
he knows what's up. Yeah,
when he sees Katja, he says, "Oh, Druck drauf."
Yeah.
Druck drauf.
Pressure on it.
Yeah,
pressure on
Druck drauf in German, in English means put more pressure on the quads.
Yeah.
You know, because when you were standing, if he would relax his legs, they would call Druck drauf, put pressure on the quads. It's so funny.
And we did it because if you will shout out it in English,
the
well,
judges
everybody
will
would hear it, even the other guys, and they were like, "Flex, okay,
Right,
okay."
Right. So now all of a sudden you get these contracts. Now your life, it's like, how did it feel? Were you ready for it, or was it a little bit too fast? And all of a sudden you think,
I had already good contract with Nutrix. I mean, I signed with Nutrix the day I came home from winning the World Championships.
China.
I had already the offer in my emails. You know, I said like, "Oh, okay," and I said like, "Yeah, that's fine." And then he said, "That's fine. I'll give you more," because he thought, you know, I'm too nice. I don't want to negotiate, but this amount was good for me. You know?
So you didn't even bother.
No, and he gave me like 1,000 more, you know. So that was great. And then 2 years later, when I won, then I resigned with Nutrix one more time before I signed with
US Nutrix.
with BSN, right? So in 2007, I resigned.
So you got two checks from Nutrix and from BMS.
Yes. So the people understand there are two owners. Nutrix is a German guy in Florida, and BMS is a German owner, but he's also in Germany. So it's like German company and American company, but they are partners.
Right.
So, and that was already a good one. So I resigned that, and I took also time. It was right after I won the 2007 Keystone. So we went to LA for the photo shoots for muscular development with Pierre Bernal. So we always used to shoot with him, and then they were also email already like resigning, and I was like, I wouldn't answer now, because I'm too busy. So, and I also, after the shows you often get sick, like kind of nasal, everything, So it was a time I didn't want to talk to them. And then 2 weeks later, he asked me one more time. I was like, I resign it next week, and I did it. So, but then in year 2009, I had the official offer from BSN,
So now you're sitting at home, you're like, Katja, look, this is it. This is the big one.
Yeah, that was a real big one. Yes. Yeah. And then we decided to go to United States, but it also was in the contract. So I couldn't sign this contract if I would say, no, I'll stay in Germany.
They required you to move to the States so you are, available for appearances.
Yes, and there was a full-time job for me. So they wanted me in Florida, but I didn't like Florida because humidity, shit. And I was sweating all the time, that. I mean, I'm still sweating, but at that time, 300 plus pounds, you're always wet. So I didn't want it. So, and then we had the decision because we spent some time at your house in 2008 before Olympia, 2 weeks. I liked it very much because, I saw all that, all the slides.
The climate is dry.
It's always warm and all this stuff. But then, my wife said, how about Vegas, because we checked it out. It's just completely different, It's just, you have everything you want, but you can also have it quiet as you want.
You can be out of
I made a couple of thoughts, where we should move to, but I thought, I am the guy who always out of house, right? So, and if your wife is not happy where we live, you're not going to be happy for a long time. So, and she spends the most time at home. So I'm kind of out and in, so I'm going on the weekends and she's always there. So I kind of let her decide, where you want to live, because that's just a huge step, and,
right.
So we ended up in Las Vegas.
Yeah. So everything is going great. You placing in the Olympia. You're a top competitor for many years, for basically all the way to the end of your career, and you were a contender for the Mr. Olympia
almost every year.
Every year, yeah, and and I'll say it publicly, because a lot of time I get messages or tagged in pictures where people talk about who's the best German bodybuilder, because we obviously had a lot of German pros. There's you, there's Markus Rühl, there's like newer guys now like Adolf Roman Fritz and Tim Budesheim and David Hoffmann. But when
how are you?
I'm not German.
But you're half German. It's still.
Yeah, but I don't.
The thing is, people don't know that because you competed. Or you turn pro at the nationals, right?
Yeah,
and USA. So
okay. So even if you put me into that category, there's no way that anybody can say that the best bodybuilder is not Dennis Wolf, because obviously your track record speaks for itself. Yeah. What you achieved speaks for itself, and there's nothing else we can say about this. I mean, this is just the way it is.
Fact.
The facts. Yeah. We had used to Bill Cost. Okay, he got third at the Olympia, but you can't compare. You won almost every show other than the Olympia.
Right.
So and if you look at the numbers, you see, and that's why I give that title to you, and I don't think I don't think anybody will take that title in the next 20, 30 years. So it would be nice.
Of course, nice, but it doesn't look good right now. So it's just.
It would be nice to get somebody from Germany to step into your shoes.
Sure,
but
I would always support it.
I don't see anybody right now who could do that. I really don't see that. So it's got to be someone new. And so then, of course, what I want to talk to you about, and what I want you to explain to us. Then what happened? What was the reason for you? You obviously retired because you had an injury that you will probably that bothered you for quite some time before you even figured it out. Mm-hmm. So what was it exactly? Explain to us what happened and what surgery did you have, and what was the factor for you to decide that you're going to retire?
You remember 2015 when I came to you? I called you and said, I need something. I need to leave the house, and I need someone who kind of bring me up a little bit. Like my mind and everything. And I came to you, like it was 4 weeks before Olympia or something, right? And I really felt something is gonna happen. Something is not okay with me. Not here, but I didn't felt like, I'm in pain or so, but I felt like it's not working. Something is not okay.
Something was off.
Yeah. So weird feeling, totally weird feeling. I mean, if your knee is like in pain, okay, you gotta do something that. But I just felt something is not okay. So then I did the Olympia, I did the Arnold in Europe, and I did the Prague Pro. And after that, I couldn't even get back to my normal size. You know, I don't know why, because I still was in the gym and all this stuff, but kind of this feeling, you know, kept me away. You know, I don't
you
know
knew
what
something was off.
Yeah,
You just
so
felt it.
and then one day I started feeling some uncontrolled movements when I was training my back. So one arm was going well, but the other arm was kind of going to the side, and it's like I couldn't control it. You know, when you pull a barbell, and this was going this, and it was like.
So how long did it
on?
take for you to finally say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to get this checked out"?
A couple of weeks.
Okay, so it wasn't long.
Yeah. So in the beginning, it was like even in 2015, before I came to you, it was like for a couple of days I felt something, but the next week the same training was good, so I didn't feel. So okay, maybe there's something going on. But anyways, I felt that there's something, and then I started feeling something wrong, you know, with that one part of my body. And I went to the doctor. So they said, we need an MRI and all this stuff. And they figured that I have, how you call it, a C4, C5, C6, C7. What is it? Between the disc, if the fluid comes out, you know, they already...
herniated?
Herniated, yes. So I had... C4, 5, 6, and 7 herniated.
So you didn't have any pain, or
No. The doctor told me, because of my muscle density, that was kept in place. So it was no movement. But I think when I kind of drop a little bit of weight, I start feeling it. So when I was like, you know, at the show, I was around 270 to 75, right? So, and then after the show, I didn't had this rebound, so I dropped like 10 pounds more, and there was that is.
You lost weight instead of gaining, which you normally.
Yes. So, and then I started feeling it, you know, because I think it was like smooth a little bit, so not too much pressure, which hold my neck in place, and that's where I start feeling it.
So then you felt pain?
Yes.
Okay, so I think that when I look back at pictures, I see it on your body. You have pictures where, you know, especially in your front double biceps, you can see your one side is not the same.
Yeah.
And I think that was the start of it.
Probably.
Because I also remember when you guest posed in Denmark.
Okay, yes.
That was probably your final guest posing.
Yes, yeah.
You already you said you feel it when you do your double biceps.
I didn't want to do this.
You couldn't really pose.
I was booked for 2 appearances. I did one. And then the second day, I don't want to go out because I feel like shit, you know, like I didn't even have connection to the muscles, you know.
So you get an MRI done. What did they tell you?
Yeah, like everything is.
They said you need surgery.
Yeah, you need surgery, and I had a good chiropractor. She's kind of she's not famous in that, but she knows a lot of people, a lot of good doctors. So she sent me to one, and he just give me your hand. Turn my hand. He almost ripped my arm off because I had no power in my left arm. And I was like, I know what you have. He didn't even look at my MRI pictures.
So did you think about the surgery? Did you say, let me think about it, or did you say, okay, let's do it?
I mean, he said, yeah, that's what you have, and I was like,
did you ask him?
Have to do
is this going to be the end of my career, or am I going to be okay?
I didn't ask, but he explained everything point by point to me. That it's not gonna be worse than before, because he had like 2 clients, patients who are in SWAT, you know, so they have to keep kicking doors or whatever, and they said they're doing fine, you know, but they're all big guys, you know. So
did the doctor say anything about potentially maybe this is it, or
nothing?
He kept you positive.
Nothing. He kept me positive, but I was kind of, you know, if this type of injuries come in the game, you know, where bones are affected, or anything where you need to go under, you know, this hardcore surgery, you know, and I was already kind of, man, that could be the end. But I never believed in that. You know, I never let it go through me. You know,
Never let it get to you.
To me, yeah, exactly. So I was positive all the time, but then after the surgery, I didn't feel a lot of difference. You know.
So you didn't feel it wasn't normal after that.
I mean, I had no pain anymore, but still.
But
you
the
know,
restriction was the same.
Still the same.
So they cut through your neck. They go through your
Yes,
neck.
right here.
Infuse your whatever C4.
They fused the C5 and C6 and 7. So there's 3 in between. So they fused 2, but it's all in between.
So then you were out for how long before you started training again?
Let me see. I think 8 weeks was mandatory. And then I started just moving a little bit, you know, just try to feel, you know, do I have pain? Do I have some issues moving the weight or, you know, things
How much
like
weight
this.
did you lose by then?
Oh, God. I was probably lighter than I am here now.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. Well, that was...
Why? Right now, how much you weigh right now?
93, 94 kilos.
So what's that in pounds?
200 pounds? 200?
No, I think it's more.
Like 100 kilos and 220, right?
94. Oh, wait. 94 times 2.2. It's 207 pounds.
Yeah.
So you were lighter than now?
Yes, probably. But it's it was a short time. Only.
Okay. So then you started training again because you obviously were frustrated.
Yeah, but I you know that was kind of rebound, like, you know, after this the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, after the diet. But it happened to me, so I gained weight a little bit. Felt good.
What year was it? What year was the surgery?
16.
So when was your last Olympia?
15.
So you after the
I was
surgery,
qualified for the Olympias in
after the
2016.
surgery, you never really came back to the point where you could compete in the Olympia.
No.
So you didn't. So when was your comeback?
2018.
So from 2016, you're basically just trying to catch up for a year.
Yes.
And 2018, you said?
18, I did a comeback.
And I remember
the Arnold Classic.
I remember you decided very, very late you're going to do it. So people didn't know until like 2, 3 months or 4 months before.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
So what was different? What was different training for the Arnold, knowing you had that major surgery? And did you feel you weren't the same? Did you see it? Did you want to believe it?
I knew I won't be the same ever again. I knew it. I felt it. And when I started my prep, I felt like in the first 2 weeks that it's not going the way I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt not big enough. You know, I'm not kind of gaining enough weight.
The weight just didn't want to come back.
No, not at all.
You ate the same. You did everything
ate the same, but after a month or half of preparation, it got worse. You know, I couldn't take any you know, how you call it? You talking about here? I don't know.
Yeah, we can talk about anything.
I couldn't take steroids.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid to put the needle in my ass. You know? So
why were you afraid?
I don't know why. It came right after the surgery. I was messed up in my head.
So you basically did that almost nothing.
Yeah, almost nothing, and maybe a third what I used to do. And
so you were not prepared to go full force for the comeback. You basically already knew, was like, listen, I'm going to try it this way.
Look, I'm the guy who, if I made a promise, I would like to keep it, and then if I work on something, I would like to finish it. You know, and that's what happened to me. You know, I said I'm going to do my comeback, and then we will all see. You know, I'm still good or not. So it didn't matter to me. I have to look like Dennis before because I knew I couldn't look like this anymore.
So you knew it going in that you won't be the same.
Yes.
Do you regret doing it now?
Not really, because it was important to me as well. Because if I would never do the comeback, probably I'll try it a year after or a year after. So I will always be in this mindset. You know, I have an unfinished business. So, but then when I saw that, I saw how the people react to me, the fans were nice, really, they were nothing bad except some Germans, you know.
Haters, just the haters.
No, what pissed me off was not they are attacking me; they attacked my friends. So they kind of said, if you have people around you and they are not telling you that you're not good enough to go on stage, you know, that are not your friends. It's like, what the hell is going on, you know? And that's where I took it personal.
Yeah.
You know, because you can attack me. I mean, this is my decision. But friends, you know, like family, like everyone. So like
all
friends,
of us, basically.
all of us. Yes. So, and there are a couple guys I just deleted them from any context I had. Like people I know for a long time.
Yeah.
I didn't care about them anymore. So this is, you know, I will never say anything.
What are you going to tell a friend?
Something bad,
what are you going to tell a friend when he's doing something and he's giving 100%?
Exactly.
And you're going to tell him no?
Yeah. So
you know, it's different if you're not in shape.
That's different story.
You
but
know,
if you're in shape, but it's not. It's
you
just,
were in shape. You were in shape,
Yeah.
and I also told you you're not as big as you used to be, but you're in shape. So you know, anybody that gives you a hard time for making the decision and following your word, you gave them the word. You signed the contract to compete.
Right,
So anybody has a problem with that, it's just a hater.
That's
anyways.
why I did it, because I probably couldn't live with that.
Yeah.
You know,
What was the goal? The goal was to qualify for the Olympian one more time.
I mean, of course, it was the, you know, I'm a Arnold Classic Champion, you know, and I never placed worse than second
right.
to Arnold, you know, in all these years, and it just wasn't the same. And then what was the worst thing? To see or to stand there and getting the comparisons, you know,
not making the first and the second call out.
Yeah, but you know, not even kind of, Dennis, we like you, just do it, you know, just do a second call out, but we sort you out later. I was in the last call out with like beginners, you know, so and I was kind of, this was the worst for me, and I understand from this point on. It's the end. I'm not gonna make.
So you knew when you made last call out, you knew that was it. I know you had an obligation to do Australia. You followed that.
I went to Australia too.
Did Australia, but
so
you knew this is it.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. So now you're in a good place. I mean, you still do a lot of things.
I'm good.
Know? You transitioned from being a competitor. You do coaching. You still have sponsors.
Sir.
You are sponsored with
Genetic Nutrition or Gigas Nutrition, a German company. Yes.
You also have some sponsorship with Gym 80.
Gym 80. Yes. I meant that. You know, that's what if you think something ends. But I think if something ends, the next thing happens or starts. You know, one door closes, the other one opens. So I met a lot of people, you know, and since then, you know, it's just I'm not competing anymore, but still doing stuff. You know, I do a lot with athletes. I love that, but you do it as well. So and trying to make maybe something different. You know, I'm not the bodybuilder anymore, but you know, there's still a lot to do. You know, so like. You know, like so I'm sitting here talking to you, you know?
Yeah, for instance, how hard was it to transition from being one of the best in the world, having a huge fan base, to the Dennis Wolf now? How did you have issues? Was it hard to accept? Because, you know, I mean, when I look back at my career, I said, I knew I was going to quit. I said, I'm going to take the Olympia and I'm going to say peace out, you know? I'm in a happy place. I knew I did it on the Olympia stage. That for me, that was just the perfect ending. So, if you could turn back the time, what would you change?
I don't think I'm gonna change much.
You would just do the same.
But the thing is that if you are forced into retirement, you have to kind of used to it, right? Yeah. So you have to go over all this some stupid stuff in your head, you know.
So you felt like depressed a little bit in the beginning, maybe?
You know, I had no idea what depression means. Might be, yes, because I tried a couple things, you know, maybe. You know, when I was bodybuilding, you know, competing, I never drank any alcohol. And then, yeah, why not?
No, you started enjoying yourself.
Yeah. So I started enjoying myself, but then I started like, hey, if you start liking alcohol, that's not gonna end well. So I kind of, had like a couple weekends where I had fun, and then over it because I don't like that. So
but how,
I tried a couple things out,
how
maybe which will be good for me, maybe to bring me to another level. Just think wise, just start thinking about different ways, I can go.
How was it from going from the big bad wolf to the smaller bad wolf?
Big model.
When you realize your clothes don't fit anymore, you gotta go smaller, and then you gotta go even smaller than that. And now, it's gonna take some time, to get used to not being that huge guy that people see you,
Yes.
And people always see you at. They're like, oh, and then people look at you, and then there's especially comments were like, oh, what happened? What happened to the gains? People don't understand if you don't train and eat like a bodybuilder, you can't be 300 pounds.
Exactly.
Were you naturally skinny or
Yes, I started bodybuilding when I was 72 kilos, 140.
Yeah,
140 pounds,
maybe 150. Yeah,
50. Something like this.
So that's why you're going back, but you always lean, so that you always have a fast metabolism. So you got to eat a lot of food to keep up.
Yeah, right now I have to eat 3 times a day to keep it this way. If I do less, I lose. If I do 4 meals a day, I gain already some weight. So
what do you want to do? You want to stay where you at right now, or you?
I wanna after the surgery, I wanna
tell us about your surgery. Now you going to Germany next week.
Yeah, I don't want to talk much about it, but yes, I'm going to Germany next week to finally fix my shoulder.
Okay, so you have shoulder
this is
problems.
a huge construction. It's overdue over at least 1.5 years. I wanted to do it before COVID situation, but then lockdown happened, and nobody did anything. And then I didn't want to fly somewhere.
So now you're gonna get that fixed, and then you're going back to training.
I'll go back to training, and I wanna gain a little bit. So I weigh like 220. And then I think it's gonna look good and feel good. So I have some plans in my mind already. So what I can do with this type of body, because I'm not looking like a bodybuilder, but still looking better than the average people, right? So that people still recognize me and all that.
I think this is a very good look for you, because you look healthy. You look healthier now than you did before.
You know what changed? The women. The women, they contact me or they talk to me differently, and I think in the beginning was
more like not everybody likes them big boys. They like them good, model
the big boys think the women like them. No, this is like, who wants to look like this, right? So
exactly.
It's a lot of work. So that changed a little bit, so that you kind of, if when I was somewhere, before COVID, you kind of feel it, it's like more women talk to you, and
you get more attention.
Yeah, more attention.
Yeah, because you come out more. Because before, as a bodybuilder, your ass was always home. You
and
didn't come
also,
out.
I didn't care.
Nobody can show the attention to you unless you get on stage.
Yes.
So now you're probably more out. That's why you get more attention, because people see you, and you're not as intense as you used to be. You used to go to the gym, you were like this.
I didn't care about.
You didn't talk much. You go train.
That, right?
Now you people can talk to you, and it doesn't bother you because you're not that intense anymore.
Sometimes I walk in the gym and talk for half an hour, and then it's time to leave. And like, I'm going.
Me too. I go to the gym. I sometimes go to the gym. I talk and don't even train, and don't go back home.
Yeah.
That's just happens to be just the way it is. So talking about since we talk about bodybuilding, I want to ask you. You watch the Olympia, obviously. You follow the Olympia since you're retired. Now, how did you see the Olympia this year compared to the Olympias you competed in? Because you were in Phil Heath's era. You were in an era where Phil Heath dominated for 7 years, basically. Now, we saw Phil Heath lose to Sean Roden back in 2018. And then, it was a little controversial. I mean, Sean Roden was the better man. He deserved to win in 2018. Phil wasn't off, in my opinion. He wasn't off. No. He just, he was punished. for his
because
distension.
he came for, in a second year in a row with his stomach problem.
So he got
yeah.
punished. And I remember Steve Weinberger made it very clear. He said in an interview after that, if he fixes his problem, his stomach,
he's unbeatable. Actually, he's unbeatable.
Yeah.
You know? So
now we see Phil set out 2019, Brandon Curry, new champ, deservedly that
Yes,
that year.
100%.
But if you look at these guys now, you're sitting there. You just retired a year prior. You retired the year Phil basically got beat. So now you see the Olympia 2019. There was no Rami on stage. There was no Phil on stage. What does it feel like as someone who would be at your best, probably walk away with the Olympia title right there, knowing that you had to retire early because of an injury? What did that feel like?
a lot of people contact me right after. Dan, you could be, the man, blah, blah, blah. But at the moment, it always feels heavy and difficult to watch Olympia because, it was the only goal I didn't reach, so that was always kind of, the top of the top.
Yeah. You could have been
and
the first
could
German.
Be there. Yeah. So, I mean, that would
have
be
been the first
insane,
German.
But it felt always kind of the guys are not 100% ready. 100%
So
ready.
you're a condition guy.
Condition.
You go for condition.
I was going full in on the condition. It was for me number one. It didn't matter to me if I will weigh 270 or 260 on stage.
What do you think is the problem that guys now doesn't come in as conditioned as they used to? What do you think is the issue?
I think self judgment. I think they think they're in shape, but they're not.
So, but why do you think that is? Why do you think they're not in shape?
I think they try to stay big
Too
because
big.
if you feel all the pressure, like in the off season, you're big, but on the diet you don't feel that anymore.
You don't get
you're
that
always
pump.
kind
You don't get that
of like
pump.
too light, and I think that messes up your mind a little bit. And that was even at the end, I did a couple times a mistake right before the Olympia, and ended up like doesn't look didn't look good.
You
All
got
those
trial
stuff.
and error. You got
Yeah, yeah.
you got to learn your physique.
Exactly. But this is just, I don't know. I think they are not concentrating like Bonnick. William Bonnick is always in shape.
Almost on point, yeah.
Exactly. So, and this is most important thing. If you are a professional bodybuilder, you're competing at the Olympia, you are one of the best. So why you're not bringing the best? And the best means you have to be striated, like all small muscles need to be separated and detailed.
Do you think it's because you don't see those guys? If you train for the Olympia, if you see when Brandon Curry won in 2019, he wasn't the most conditioned guy at all.
No.
So why don't you think it's maybe because people think is that why should I be conditioned if he can win the Olympia? He's not conditioned. Maybe go for size instead of condition.
I think I think if they see a winner, this is kind of invitation. You can win with
Yes.
not being 100% striated. I think that's
Give it the wrong sign.
yes, yeah, I think
The
so.
wrong-
I think
yeah.
so. I mean, Brendan has probably the one of the best genetics, of course. I mean, small waist, we taper, but to be this crispy on stage, it's another level. It's another level. You have to like you with Rami. I mean, you know how Rami is. If it goes kind of to this part of your prep where you suffer. You suffer from the beginning of the day until
To the minute you pass out.
yes, exactly. So, and this is what I did all the time. I kind of used to this suffering, and if I didn't suffer, I wasn't feeling right. Like
felt like
I'm
you
on
didn't
the
do
right
it.
way.
Yeah, you didn't do the right
and
thing.
that was it.
Yeah.
I always suffered the last 4 weeks. Come on, this is insane. This is insane. I probably could do that right now, and that's why even now, like I said, I eat like 3 times a day, right? So in between these meals, I get hungry, But I like to stay hungry because it's still from my back days and
So
back in the days.
you're still torturing yourself.
Yes,
See,
yeah,
I'm the
kind of
total
this.
opposite. If I'm hungry, I eat.
Yeah.
And if no, I don't even care what I eat.
Okay.
So look at the Olympia this year. Ramy winning the Olympia. Do you think it's going to change the way the new look will go? Does it think it's going to be a new era? You think? Oh, you think
It's all possible, but I think there are more opportunities for people from abroad. They see it now that everybody who works on this and has genetics and he can win. He can win the Olympics. It's all possible.
That's why I was so happy this year. Not only because Ramy won, but
it gives the opportunity for
because
everyone.
the judges showed that all the dumb talk that's been going around for how many years.
It was always the same. Like
that
only
Ramy,
the Americans can
you
win.
cannot win if you're not American. You cannot win as a Muslim. You cannot win.
Yeah, see?
All that
Exactly.
talk is they put an end to it because and this was not only in the open, man. Every single category, I was so impressed with the judging because there was a lot of upsets.
They did a great job.
There was a lot of upsets in a lot of categories that people didn't expect, and that shows the judges they judged who was the best on that day, and that's I think this is going in the perfect direction, and I think it's going to help for next year. But what I want to know is, what do you think? Do you think everybody's chasing Ramy now, like we did chase Ronnie back in his era? You think that's what's going to happen?
I think so. In some kind, yeah, because he's a leader. He's a champ. And everybody's looking on how the champs look. It's like with Phil Heath. It was the same. Everybody wants to be separated like him. Even though he had like to compare it to other bodybuilders or to other Olympia champions before. White shoulders. This is what Phil Heath didn't have, but he has this overall look, the 3D nobody had before.
Yeah.
That's so insane. I mean, I can say so much. It's just it's just amazing. How the body can be developed. And I think they kind of look at that, and I think Ramy will improve as well. So I mean, he needs to be a little bit more crispy, maybe, and that's as a Mr. Olympia you have to improve every time.
You have to beat yourself every year.
Just small changes make him look different, and better. So, and I think the people will always kind of follow the champ.
Okay, if you would train Brandon, what would you tell Brandon what to do in order to beat Ramy?
Work on condition and legs. That's it. I mean, he got everything except the legs are, a little bit behind from the front. A little bit.
Way behind from the back.
Yeah. So
from the front, he can make it.
He looks already better.
He can make a case. He can make a case. Absolutely not next to Ramy because he can't make a case with quads.
Nobody can stand next to Ramy regarding the legs.
But from the rear, it's where it shows the most. And if he can bring his legs up, Brandon has a perfect physique.
Yeah.
So, but who you think is the most dangerous guy in the lineup right now, the way you see it?
The way I see it. Man, I think next to Ramy is William.
You think William?
William Bonek, because if he's in shape, even his midsection is the only part which is not perfect. The rest I think is perfect. So
he has it all,
and he's in shape. He has developed his muscles that far that he is on another level. I think Brandon is not there. In this condition wise and muscle where they look different. Like Phil Heath, look at his bicep, and look at my bicep, right? So there's a big difference because he got these details in the bicep, in the tricep, and some people don't ever have it.
I think for the problem is William has been consistently great.
That's true.
For so many years. For so many years.
Yes.
But I think that's a little bit of a problem because he can't get better. How much better can he get? I think for him, he would almost have to come in off 1 year.
So
and then come back to nail it for people say, okay, he's improving. So it's very hard. I think, for me personally, I think that the most dangerous guy is Hadi Choopan.
Oh,
in my eyes. He's the most dangerous because
I forgot about Hardy.
Yeah, because in my eyes, I mean, from what I'm seeing, and I'm looking at him for years now, even as a 212 guy. I mean, he has the most detail of all of them. He's the shortest guy with William, but he's wide.
Yes.
When he turns around, and I rewatched the Olympia. I rewatched the pay-per-view so I can see it, sit back and watch it, and and I said, look how wide Hardy is, And on Friday he was off.
Yeah,
he was really because he came. He arrived,
I was scared.
He arrived 2 days before the Olympia.
Oh, that's crazy. I'll never do that. But still, 2 days before the show, arriving in the United States and
so he
finishing
missed, he missed his peak on Friday. He nailed it on Saturday. Yeah. If he would have came in a day earlier, he would have been second. That means Phil Heath would have been fourth. Brandon Curry would have been third. So I don't see why this should not happen again next year. Why? If Hardy comes in early,
it could happen.
I personally believe that Hardy is probably the biggest threat to Ramy.
When you talk this way, yes, because it's he is also on another level, and he's not that old. No, he's like in the beginning of 30s, right?
I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter no more because he
is so developed. Yeah. Like everything, So I saw him live in Vancouver. So I was in the first row.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
I think he's the biggest threat at the moment, and I think Brandon, of course, if he brings his legs up, but Brandon,
it still work. Hardy don't have to work that much. He just needs to bring the condition.
What are the chances of Brandon bringing up his legs to Olympia level? I think this is not going to happen. If it didn't happen now, it's not going to happen in the next year because even if he comes in, he's probably going to go for size this year because Ramy is leading, so everybody's going for size, which can ultimately lead for him coming in not as conditioned,
right?
Which is another issue.
For him, yes.
I just believe that his hamstrings and the glutes and from the rear, I don't think this is fixable anymore. It's not happening.
I think it's not just the size. He doesn't have this separation.
Yeah,
between
if the muscle is not there, then it's not that separated. I mean, I wish he could. Because it would be a beautiful battle to see these guys going back at it. But I think there's going to be some newer guys, coming through next year. I believe
Look, there's Labrada, right?
Yeah, Hunter Labrada, he's still young. He probably needs a couple more years. Yeah. But I see Ian Valliere moving up.
I'm kind of, I don't know how to judge his physique.
When he's on, he looks good. He's really, because he gets conditioned.
But if he's on, he doesn't have the right tan. So you don't see that much. That's what people complained about me in the beginning of my career. I messed up the tan a couple times. And this is why I understand it now. So if you have bad tan, you don't see that much.
Right.
And this is what I have with Ian. He's great. He's tall, everything, but all the small details you don't see.
He just needs to focus on being professional and get his tan and everything right. Yes, that's your job. Yeah. But I see him move up, and I definitely see Akeem Williams solidifying himself.
Was big surprise. Big surprise.
It's a really big guy.
I think it's gonna be. I mean, I think it could be Ramy, Hardy, and William next year.
Yeah,
the top three.
Possible.
Like this is a big guys, which are much more developed than the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Akeem.
You think Ramy could repeat?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. I think so, but he needs to be in shape, because that's his only chance not to lose, because he's big. He doesn't have to.
He's been beaten by a lot of guys in this lineup.
I know.
So the size is not everything, and this is what I always tell people.
The condition,
And that's why. But the scary thing is, and this is what I talked about, is in Ramy's case, the scary thing is that he doesn't have to worry about putting on any weight. So he can solely focus on bringing his condition, what he's been
On
doing,
diet, yeah.
and he can solely. And I think his motivation by winning the Olympia, his motivation is right here.
Oh, I think it's like over the top.
You don't have to say anything to him to do it, So he knows now he can win, and I think it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard for these guys. And I remember exactly when Ronnie was leading the pack, and every workout I was like, I got to get bigger, and that's a mistake.
Yes.
Because you will never catch Rami in size. It doesn't matter what you do. The only thing, and I'm giving you guys an advice now, so listen to me. I'm trying to make this competitive. Because the bigger you're trying to get, the more you're going to shoot yourself in the foot. Because at the end of the day,
how I see it too.
At the end of the day, you got to work with what you have, and then you have symmetry and shape. Work on your condition, and don't try to chase him in size, because you'll never have the legs he's going to bring. You will never be as wide as him. It's just not possible. There's only one guy that can compete with Rami when it comes to size as of right now, and that is Akeem Williams.
Yes,
you know. So, and therefore, I would suggest all these guys right now don't think you got to get bigger.
Don't go for the size, right? Yeah.
Because if I can turn back the time if I can turn back 15 years.
You won't do the size.
I would tell Ronnie, go on ahead. You go ahead. Let me stay where I'm at. I'm just trying to get better. I'm trying to get bigger, It was okay.
And you will anyways. If you keep training, you improve. Because, if you have your food and everything is good around you during the off season as a bodybuilder, it works. Everything works. You don't have to kind of stress yourself. I have to put like 10 pounds this
but you know
week,
how
whatever.
It is. But you know how it is.
Yeah, but you see it always just later, We did many stupid stuff, right? Even in the gym, like instead of 6 meals, I did 8 meals like for months.
Wake up in the middle of the night, set the alarm clock to go get a meal in.
So, I'll never do it again. But, that's how it is.
I'd do it again. The only thing I wouldn't do is I would not chase Ronnie no more in size. I would, because I remember I had a small waist, and you can't gain 30, 40, you can't be 310 pounds being 5'8". And it have it all in the waist is 27 inches. It's not possible. So that's why when people ask me if I could change something, what would I change? I said I would not change Ronnie. I would just stick to my guns and just try to get better and get leaner and harder, because at the end of the day, condition always pays off.
Exactly. That's how I see it
and
too.
that's the only thing that paid off for Rami this time was he was finally in condition.
He's big all the time, and all the Olympians, prior Olympians, he was always one of the biggest, But the condition that's what brings you the title.
So no more comeback for Dennis Wolf. Is that out of the? That's no question. That's
there will be a comeback, maybe some on a magazine, maybe as a model or so. I don't know, but
would you be up for it, like modeling?
Oh yeah,
because you're still in shape. You're still in shape. You got good. I mean, if I was, man, what are you, 6'1"?
Yeah, 6. A little bit over it.
So a little bit over 6 foot. Yeah. To me, next to me, it feels like you're 6'5". It feels like you're so tall.
The doors are open always, but you gotta.
Do you get any offers? Any offers for modeling?
I'm in contact with a company, but didn't worked it out yet. So it's all possible. I want to do this direction because I think I can do more with the look than with competing. So this is not my thing anymore. But why not? Yeah. So I think there's so many things to do as a good-looking guy and fit guy. To these times, I'm not like a influencer or whatever. I couldn't do it probably every day, like just throw something out so that people listen to you.
Like YouTube stuff.
Yeah. But YouTube stuff with some interesting stuff.
Like what? Like good. What are your plans?
Something extreme. Something.
What extreme? Like what? Extreme? Like what? Like jumping off a building or?
Not jumping off a building, but jumping over the hill or wherever on a buggy or whatever.
That's what you want to do?
Or make.
You're just gonna get your shoulder fixed, then you go ahead and just mess it up again.
No. I don't want to do that. So I kind of wreck myself, But. Things like this, like jet ski, and I always do a little bit more. Every time I just try to do more, and this is what I call a little bit extreme. So hiking, I went many times for a hike, but it's just 2-3 hours. And then I went to a hike, 20 miles plus, 20 plus miles. So it
So
took
you
me
hiked,
11 hours.
you hiked 20 plus miles.
With my buddy Jan, you
11
remember him,
hours.
right?
11 hours.
11 hours, yes. We did the Charleston Peak. It's 11,000 feet above the sea level. So
And for what? What is there a price in it, or
no,
what do you-
just
for,
I want to do
just
that.
for the hell of it?
Yeah, just I want to do that.
Okay.
And then I probably could, it's because I'm doing this. Because back in the days, I could do it. I always wanted to get out or so, or do something, but it wasn't possible because I did my job.
Right.
I was living as a bodybuilder.
Right,
so you
right.
can't do shit like this, because you mess up one thing and you're not competing.
With your
you lose
metabolism, you'll be
everything.
skinny. You burn too many calories.
Yes, yeah. So I have to take a lot of food with me all the time, so keep the calories in.
Bro. So any new athletes that you train that we might be seeing in the future? Anybody that we can look forward to?
Well, I still train my classic physique athlete Kirill Khudayev.
Okay.
He won
He
the
competed
show.
at the Olympia once or twice?
Once.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. He didn't qualify the last time because all this COVID stuff and
Yeah.
he was too long on a diet. So, and if you're too long on a diet, it doesn't end well.
Right.
If you're like 9 months
So
dieting.
he's trying to qualify.
Yeah. We're trying to get back on track next year. Oh, this year. I'm sorry. I'm still in 2020. Yeah, I have Alexander Westermeyer. He just turned pro last year in December, I guess. Yes, he's gonna compete next year. So we're taking a year for to try a couple things out because he is not the heavy bodybuilder. He's more lighter bodybuilder. So we kind of thinking sending him to a classic physique class.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything works out with these guys, and Germany is going to represent. And finally, we'll get one that can step into your shoes and
I hope so.
keep Germany
very
on the
much.
map.
Yeah. I mean, if we've seen for a long time no one, being professional and competing like every show. We always have like one or two guys. They do the show, but that's it. But as we did it, it's a season. So competitive season or competition season, you do the shows. Doesn't matter that 2 shows or 5, you do them. So and this is what I'm missing. And,
Awesome.
Hopefully, we get more guys to.
I'm hopeful, and I
compete.
have faith in the Germans, man.
Yeah,
brother,
me too.
Brother, I want to appreciate. I thank you for making the trip here from Vegas. I appreciate you coming on this show, and I know I want to have you on this show a few more times for sure to see what's happening in the future.
Just
Thank you
let me
so
know.
much. I appreciate you,
Thank you so much, brother.
and bless you, my man. Bless
Thank
you.
you. You too. There was a total pleasure talking to you. We're friends for
It was
such
just
a long
it was a
time,
little
but
different doing it in English, so
Yeah,
we'll get
but-
back to German now.
I think it was okay, right? So
It was
my English
perfect. It was
good?
perfect.
Or-
I remember. I want to tell this story before we leave. I remember when you turned pro, and I remember we had conversations at the very beginning, and I told you make sure you learn English. This is the first thing you need to do. I said watch the movies.
You
in
need to
English.
interact with your fans.
Yes,
That's most
yes,
important,
yes. But you did a good job.
The
You
sponsors gonna want you because you do that anyways. But to talk to the fans is most important thing.
You represented yourself perfectly. So you had no black clouds anywhere. No,
thank God. Yeah,
inaction.
yeah.
No drunk parties and nothing like that. You were always a guy that was very respected and very respectful to others. So we
yes,
appreciate
yeah.
you, my man. You're going to be around
Thank
for
you.
a long time.
Thank you very much.
Take care, brother.
You too.
All right. Thank you guys for chiming in. This was TMT, the Menace Podcast with the Dennis Wolf. Thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you for the support. And we'll see you next time.